I think that humans instinctively have this need to express and to connect with each other, and art is an amazing way to do that.
Like I return to art or drawing when my life feels out of control or I'm feeling down on myself.
I get phone calls, I want to say every day, and that would be truthful, because if it isn't a phone call, it's an email, asking to help a family, asking my child is in crisis. And I have taken on so much pro bono work because I am not able to accept Medicaid. Because we are working in nonverbal modalities, we're working with creative therapeutic interventions, we are providing avenues of access to express and heal unspeakable trauma.
I think there's so many, art therapy is we're just kind of codifying something that has been part of the human experience for millennia. Every culture knows or uses art therapeutically, or dance or music. Trauma memories are fragmented. They're not stored in the same way as regular memories. So what art making can help do is sort of allow you to create images and then begin creating a story so that it goes into long-term memory in a different way. Like every time we remember something, it actually changes the memory. So we have this capacity, this incredible plasticity, right? Making connections. It's the limbic system, the prefrontal cortex, the brainstem, the body, it's all engaged. There's something about engaging creatively that makes us feel more fully alive. We can be the makers of our own stories.
Studies indicate that art can help mitigate symptoms and also prevent disease. They also found that it helps you live up to 10 years longer, which is so amazing.
I actually never intended to teach. I didn't think I'd be good at it. But I had a friend who worked for a summer camp, and she asked me to come work for the camp as art director. And I found that I just really loved it. We did a lot of paper mache. We did mask making, puppet making. I just had a lot of drawing time too, because I found that there were kids who didn't necessarily love a lot of outdoor activity, so they really appreciated being able to sit down and draw and kind of get to express themselves that way.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Well, I call this place the Music Therapy Studio. I mean, with Daniel, I wanted you to see him because of, how good he is at music, compared to how people might perceive him. So if a person is musical, but they're not necessarily, verbal, then where they function is in music.
Most of the work that I do is participatory. Documentary is just kind of the premise, and it's a lot about sharing truth and finding truth and having the platform to understand that our challenges are often our greatest strength. Looking at life, I was always interested in poetry. Even when I did drugs, I was writing, I still have some of my first poems. I was writing poems and things that I don't even know where these inclinations came from because no one around me ever did it. So the little scrapbook thing that we're doing this summer, it was some youth who have come here with their advocates because they're really struggling at home, because their parents are really struggling in the home, because they struggled with their parents. They understand the importance of telling their stories and getting it down. Telling your story, being supported, being validated through the artwork that you do is really necessary, because that gap is just not going to bridge itself.
We're not just talking about the visual arts, we're talking about the whole spectrum of the arts, where we can use to assist kids in telling their stories and into mitigating their trauma. There is a bill, and it is now on Governor Hochul's desk. And we are hoping this fall that that will finally be signed into law and that we can move forward and ameliorate some of this deficit that we have in mental health services that can be paid for, particularly for lower income families. Because what else are they supposed to do?
We had this one student who was visiting from another country. She spoke no English, and she loved being in the art room, and I had to find ways to communicate with her. It was mostly like pointing to things, demonstrating, having her watch, and then letting her express. All you have to do is like show a student, here's where this material is, this is how you would use it, and then just like run wild. And I think that was really cool for her. Having art in my life toolbox has been almost like life-saving in a way. I've experienced a lot of things like as a young kid that I didn't have language for, or like a way to express, and art was the one place that I could do that. It was the one place that I found confidence